Good evening, everyone. I'm Carly Rappaport Stein. I'm the Executive Director of Intercultural Journeys, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here tonight as Intercultural Journeys premieres our virtual 2020-21 season. And we get started with a beautiful series called Close-Ups. With Close-Ups, you get to step into the backyards of 4 phenomenal artists. They've invited us in to share their work and their lives with us in performance and in conversation. And after the show, you'll get a chance to ask questions of them yourself. We start tonight with Manette Sudler, guitarist, composer, band leader, poet, powerhouse. I can't wait for you to hear the work that she shared with us, as her style is so distinct, blending funk and jazz and soul and blues in a sound that is just completely, beautifully her own. And if you love what you see tonight with Close-Ups, you're very much in luck because you have 3 more chances to see a performance with us. Elba Evia Ivaca, wonderful flamenco artist, joins us on Tuesday, November 10th. Klezmer artist Susan Hoffman-Watts joins us on December 8th. And Kathak dancer and anthropologist Pallavi Chakravarti rounds out this season on Tuesday, January 12th. If you love the work that you see here tonight, if you love the work of this season, I hope you will take a moment to say so by giving a donation to Intercultural Journeys. We are thrilled to be able to present this work free of charge, but as I'm sure you know, to create and produce and present beautiful art like this takes time and it takes resources. That's where you come in. If you love the fierce, intelligent, and passionate art that is on tap for this season, I hope you will take a moment by saying so and donating at interculturaljourneys.org/donate. That's interculturaljourneys.org/donate. But for now, I invite you into Manette's backyard. So won't you sit back, get cozy on your couch, and join me to see the incomparable Manette Sudler? I can't wait to see you after the show. Thanks.
Local music critics have called her an uncompromising young lion, a jazz guitarist whose recordings are marked with a, quote, vitality and directness that is simply not found in most commercial works. She is Manette Sudler, Philadelphia's version of the late Wes Montgomery, and its first lady of guitar.
I love music, and that's all I can say. I just love music, period.
I'm rolling. You're rolling. All right, Manette, you ready?
Let's see. I think Aquila from the WRTI gave me that title, and you know, at that time there were no other women playing guitar, jazz guitar, in Philadelphia area or anywhere really that much. My name is Manette Sudler, jazz guitarist, vocalist, and composer. I'm very eclectic in my taste, so it may sound folky, it might sound bluesy, it may sound jazzy, it may sound classical, you know, so. Jazz is a derogatory term that was given because of where the music was played uh, when it began, and it was played basically in the whorehouses, and jazzing um, was the term that they used for hooking up. So I don't think that it is a respectful term given to African American classical music, which is what our music is. And so, but it has stuck and clung to us for all these years, and it's almost impossible to shake it, But African American classical music, I think, is appropriate. So this instrument is called a singoni, and it was actually made by an artisan that lives in West Philadelphia. So I wanted to get a kora made, and I was working at the Martha Washington School, and so, you know, I was talking about it. I talk about it to everybody. When I want something, I used to talk about it to everybody I see. No, I don't care who they are, right? And so, so this person said, you know, I know a man. He said he's from Philadelphia, but he makes African instruments. And he said, I don't know how he does it because he's very authentic in what he does. His name is Adi Mu. Um, and so he made this Singoni for me. Um, and it's a harp type of instrument. Gani means guitar, actually. And but it's not a fretted instrument at all. So, and it has 3 strings on both sides, and you kind of play like a harp. Right? Yeah. So, I think I've seen men playing, and they usually stand up and play it. Uh, but I'm gonna sit down. So it has a beautiful sound. I think the hardest part for me was finding a tuning that I liked. So this is one of the tunings I've come up with. So it's 6 strings, so basically I'm using like a pentatonic scale, 5-tone scale with it. Yeah. You know, I just think it's important for women to know that they belong in the field, you know, that they have a right to be in the field and that they don't have to, you know, apologize for being there or tiptoe about, you know, stepping in. Feel my pain. Know my sorrow, suffering in my quiet space. Inside my soul,
casting out the demons, to stand tall, to stand it all. I am stronger, and my will to survive keeps me moving on, and I'm standing up, though my knees get a little bit weak sometimes. I am holding on, living for my freedom while I work to preserve yours. How did I come to be here in this evil place? Even though you wronged me, sold my children while I coddled yours, stole my love, yet my will to survive keeps me moving on, and I'm standing up, though my knees get a little bit weak sometimes. I am holding on. Sometimes I just want someone to rock me, tell me that I'm beautiful. I get so lonely. For my home, for my man, for my children, oh, and I'm standing up, though my knees get a little bit weak sometimes. I am holding on. Feel my pain. Know my sorrow, suffering in my quiet space. Inside my soul, casting out the demons, to stand tall, to stand it all. I am stronger, and my will to survive keeps me moving on, and I'm standing up, though my knees get a little bit weak sometimes. I am holding on.
It is obvious to me as a musician that I see many, many people that love jazz music. They love my music. They love other people's music, other jazz artists, you know. So I'm saying that there is a mass public that enjoys jazz music.
I see a lot of young women playing music and really getting involved, and that's very encouraging. Um, and it's really just a matter of if you're going to come into the field, come in with the idea of putting in the work and striving for excellence and this making your way. If you don't see a way, make a way. So I I think it's encouraging, definitely. So this is a song that I've recently composed, and originally was titled Stop, I Can't Breathe. But then as I was rehearsing it, I said to myself, you can't sing this song. You can't say that line because in 2013 I had a double lung transplant. And so I really do know what it feels like not to be able to breathe. And I just didn't want to put that into the universe. Stop that I can't breathe, to say that I can't breathe over and over again. Because I'm very grateful to be able to breathe. So I've altered the title to Stop, Now I Can Breathe. And that puts a different spin on it in a more positive light. And I can sing that. So this is called Stop, I Can Breathe.
Stop, I can breathe. Now time to make a stand for humanity. Stop, now I can breathe. America, you're suffocating me. Come, walk with me. There's got to be some movement to ensure some equity. Come, talk with me to negotiate some fairness and promote equality. It's time to fight for our rights. Stop, now I can breathe. America's foundation built on false realities. Stop, now I can breathe. America creates division with things that are only make-believe, inciting fear without a reason, inciting rage based on lies. It's time to tell the truth. It's time to bring forth the proof. Help me, help me, help me, help me, I can breathe. America's been built on the backs of those kept in slavery. Stop, now I can breathe. America's been faking it through Christianity, but I believe with some action the change can be a reality. God knows we are free. Let's exercise our rights and demand equality. Stop, now I can breathe. America, stop suffocating me.
How was that? That's good. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Carly Rappaport Stein. I'm the Executive Director of Intercultural Journeys, and I'm so pleased to invite you both into my living room and into Manette's backyard tonight. Tonight, you're going to get to have a conversation with the phenomenal Manette Sudler, who is here in the Zoom room with me, and the wonderful Marla Burkholder, who's IJ's Artistic Director, also in the Zoom room with me. But before we get going tonight, I have to say a huge thank you to everyone who worked on making this piece. Of course, Manette, and then the just fantastic Stephanie Malson, who is our cinematographer, Danielle Lewis, who did sound for us, and Intercultural Journey's own wonderful Nia Benjamin, who edited everything together and just did a phenomenal job. So I have to say a thank you to everyone to get started. And we are so ready to answer all of your questions. So send them our way. And as you're thinking of them, I actually have a question for Manette, if I can be so bold as to start the questioning. Manette, you shared so much of your music with us tonight. Stuff I know that you wrote, both lyrics and music too. So I would just love to hear a little bit about your process of composing.
Well, it's different. Sometimes I'm writing for a specific idea or theme. A lot of times, lately, I've just been writing from totally an emotional place. Sometimes if I'm writing for a theme and I'm not really, it might take me a while to get there because, you really have to put yourself in that place and in that feeling, and you have to really feel it totally from the inside and try to, I try to go to an experience that I can relate to that will bring those feelings up so that I can relate to the subject and be able to write about it honestly. So I did that for standing up. The most recent piece, of course, was just coming from an emotional place and based on everything that's been happening over the past few months. And then the meditation was just my way of bringing some peace to my soul every day. And so hopefully that does the same for other people that listen to it.
I have to say, when Manette, we were there in your backyard, that meditative moment with meditation was really special. It was one of those moments that I think I'm going to remember for my whole life, just being in that backyard, the birds chirping, the breeze blowing a little bit, hearing you play. It was sort of this otherworldly but really beautiful experience. So, talking about filming like that in the midst of COVID, in the midst of a pandemic, we have a question from Beth, who asks, how have you found the creative focus to write new work during COVID?
Well, that has been my saving grace, because, sometimes I just get so filled with emotionally. And, for me, I just don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? You have to do something with that energy. And so that's one way that I can channel it through my music. And it's a good way to be an advocate, send a message, just kind of release some of my thoughts and emotions as well. So yeah, that's been my saving grace. So I'll be writing a lot. Yeah, before it's all over, I'm sure.
Somebody was asking Manette if their quote was, "You have a soothing, calming tone that you lend to the guitar." So they want to know, does that come from you or is that the song?
Well, it has to come from me, I think, first. because it doesn't work without me. Unless somebody else is playing it. And so, you know, my energy does come through the guitar. Yeah. I like to think that.
I think so too.
And I see another question about the Sengoni. This question is the string instrument you had made, the Sengoni. Why did you have to have it? Would a guitar have worked, or you really needed this instrument because?
Well, I already had the guitar, but I wanted a kora, and which is a 21 stringed instrument, the same type of instrument that has 21 strings. And so really, that's really what I wanted. I do have a smaller version of it, which has 14 strings. But it's a little more difficult to tune. And so the Sengoni was something that Adimu was able to do for me at that time. And I was very happy with it. And I still am.
So that's wonderful. So someone actually asked something kind of in line with that as well, which is what haven't you done with the guitar that you really want to in terms of music or collaboration? Is there something left that you'd really love to
do? Yes, actually. So I'd really like to do like guitar and strings. No, I haven't really done that yet. So, you know, I was thinking about that. You know, if I think back to some of the other guitarists like Wes Montgomery, and, you know, he had Wes Montgomery with strings, or Charlie Parker with strings, and, you know, it's just be an awesome thing, I think. Yeah.
Oh man, we're waiting for that too. We're waiting for that too.
And also a collaboration with voices with the choir. I was actually supposed to do that, but because of COVID, it kind of got with Anna Cruz's choir. We had a collaboration schedule. They were going to do Standing Up, so I wrote the arrangement for them, but we never got a chance to do the concert, unfortunately.
Sometime we're gonna all hope for a time soon that will get to happen, because
me too.
All right, we've got so many questions flying in here. So people want to know about your influences. So did you have a mentor, or did you develop your gift on your own? And also, how has your sound changed through the decades?
A mentor. Well, I think my uncle Nathan, my great uncle Nathan, I used to listen to him play piano. He used to come to the house and play when I was, you know, like 8 or 9. And he was very influential because I just loved hearing him play. And then I used to listen to a lot of horn players, actually, like John Coltrane, Yusef Lateef. A lot of Yusef Lateef. I kind of like him a lot. And then Wes Montgomery, and I really loved Richie Havens, you know, so Mississippi Reds. You know, I had a pretty eclectic palette for listening, and I still do. So I think a lot of the people that I've worked with, like the first group I worked with was Sounds of Liberation group. And they had Con Jamal and on vibraphones, and Barry Lancaster on alto saxophone, and later Dwight James on drums, and Billy Mills on bass, and Omar Hill on congas. So we had a nice group that we worked a lot in New York and did a lot of the avant-garde circuit, things like that, and a lot of the festivals. So that was cool. We opened up for Ike and Tina Turner and people like that. You know, that was kind of cool. Yeah.
So someone else wants to know, do you serve as a mentor to others now?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Someone's asking if you get the chance now to serve as a mentor to other musicians.
I'd like to think so. I work a lot with the Clef Club, the Philadelphia Clef Club of Performing Arts and Jazz. And so, you know, I've mentored a lot of young people through them. And so that's been wonderful. And I have to tell you, they're really inspiring because that's how I know that the music is going to be alive and well, because these young people are really amazing. They really are amazing. You know, they have so much available to them through the internet and through the Clef Club, you know, because there's just so many wonderful musicians that are there to be able to mentor. And I think it's very important. And they are really coming out with some wonderful ideas and compositions and music, and so many people that have gone on from there and done wonderful things. So.
Someone says, so you founded the Guitar Summit, and they're wondering, what does the future of that look like with the new normal of COVID?
Good question. Well, I don't know. I'm going to try to find a way to go online, I guess, and do what everyone else is doing, to do some streaming. So I have been talking about that with a few people and trying to like piece that together before the year is over. So it's just a work in progress, and it'll probably be some videos and some workshops, you know, over Zoom. So we'll see.
And oh, go ahead.
No, I said I can't let the year go by without me doing something before it's over. To say that I did something for, this would be the 11th year of the Philadelphia Guitar Summit.
Wow. And for folks who don't know what the Guitar Summit is, would you mind just quickly telling everybody what it is?
Yes, the Philadelphia Guitar Summit is a summit that I put together that brings together a diverse and variety of guitar music or stringed instruments. And so each year I've featured harp ensemble, Gloria Galante's harp ensemble. I've had Diane Monroe on violin. I've had Tosin Abasi on 8-string guitar. You know, I've had classical guitars. I've had Jimmy Bruno. I've had, I've had so many people. It's been just fantastic. And the thing about it is, when you have a variety of, usually it's like either a blues concert or it's a jazz concert or it's a classical concert. But then when I've been able to present all these different genres at the same time, it really works. And And so it's nice because the audience, you know, is introduced to different styles of music. And then also the performers are introduced to different styles of music and collaborate and talk, you know, backstage. And so on both sides, it's a wonderful thing to experience. And I also had workshops and things like that. So,
yeah. Well, talking about that wonderful collaborative spirit and artists in general, we have a question from Tripita asking, as an artist, what are some practices or ways of creating your art that you've had to do during COVID that you will continue to do beyond these difficult times?
Well, during COVID, you have to create your art totally by yourself. Or, I mean, you can collaborate somewhat, but for the most part, it's kind of made me look inside, from the inside out. A lot of times, you know, you get kind of caught up in, I'm going to play with the band, you know, and you just kind of like in that groove. And so it's kind of made me look at things from a solo perspective, basically. And I will definitely carry that, for sure.
Definitely. And it looks like we have a fashion-related question for you, Manette. It looks like someone in the audience wants to hear about your shoes, the shoes in the video, I'm guessing. That wonderful pair.
Well, I get them from my favorite shoe store. I think it's called Hot Foot. Yeah, Hot Foot shoes. And they really have some interesting shoes there. So, yeah.
Yeah, the same audience member is calling out that your son is perhaps a Philly fashion icon. So I think they're wondering if you get a little styling advice from within the family.
Of course. In fact, I thought the question was going to be something about, you know, relating to him, you know, with asking me about fashion. But yes, definitely.
So I think we have time for one or two more questions. If anyone in the audience has one, oh, I see one popping up here. This is from an audience member that says, from Sherry, the audience member, I am so taken with the earthy tones of your work. I agree with that. What other string instruments have you played or have yet to play? This is a great question, Sherry, because Manette has played like everything.
Well, I play bass guitars as well. Those are really the only 3 stringed instruments I've played. I also play mbira or kalimba and drums and piano. So I've been trying to work it.
We can call you a multi-instrumentalist then.
There you go.
Excellent. I think we have time for one more question from the audience. If anyone has a burning last question to ask Manette. If not, I have like 12, but I'll limit myself to 1.
Okay.
Okay. My question is, Manette, what are you dreaming of next?
Well, I've been actually doing some recording, some interesting things, and I'm anxious to share that with everyone when the time comes. So I've been really concentrating on that, and I've also been concentrating on doing some writing, some literary writing as well. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between the two.
I love it. I love it that you're going in all the different directions. And then I think we'll let this be the last one because this is such a beautiful question. So thank you to whoever asked this. It is, what gives you the greatest joy about music?
Wow. It soothes my soul. Bottom line, this really soothes my soul totally. And I don't know what I would do if I didn't have that outlet. So I feel very blessed for that gift. God's been good. I'm very thankful on many levels.
Yeah.
Many levels.
And I think gratitude is the perfect place to wrap up tonight's performance and conversation, because I am so grateful to Manette for her beautiful work, for sharing it with us, for letting us into her backyard. Thank you. To the cinematographer again, Stephanie Malson, our audio woman, Danielle Lewis, our phenomenal editor and director, Nia Benjamin, and IJ's artistic director, Marla Burkholder. I'm so grateful to have all of you creating and sharing this wonderful work together. And finally, I'm grateful to you. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight, for watching the music, for joining with us in conversation. I know it is a tough moment not to be together, meeting each other in front of the ticket office in the lobby and saying hello, but I hope we get this moment at least to connect across screens, say a big hello to each other, and know that the warmth of our friendship and our community and our music is streaming through the internet and embracing all of us. So if you loved what you saw tonight, please do take a moment to visit interculturaljourneys.org/donate if you haven't had a chance yet to contribute. We're very grateful for everyone who is able to. And then I hope you'll also join us next month, Tuesday, November 10th, to see Elba Eviaivaka in the next episode of Close-Ups. Thank you, Manette. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
We're so glad to have you all tonight, and everyone have a beautiful evening.
Thank you so much.